The awakening signal. The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between stars, a massive station that had once symbolized unity and prosperity across 1,000 worlds. Now it served as a tomb for hope. Ambassador Thelix of the Andraxian Collective watched the holographic display with 3 of his 4 eyes, the 4th closed in a gesture of mourning among his people. The red markers spread across the map like a plague, and in truth, that's exactly what they were. The Scourge had consumed 47 star systems in the past rotation alone. Entire civilizations, billions of souls reduced to silent, lifeless husks drifting through space. "We have perhaps 6 standard months," announced High Chancellor Vexnor, her crystalline form refracting the dim light of the chamber. "Our projections show the Scourge will reach the core worlds by then." After that, she didn't need to finish. Everyone in the chamber understood extinction. What of the Krell warfleets? Someone asked from the shadows. Obliterated at the Battle of Sanctus III. The Scourge adapted to their plasma weaponry within hours. They always adapt. Vexnor's voice carried the weight of defeat. "We've thrown everything at them. Fusion bombs, antimatter missiles, biological weapons, temporal disruptors. Nothing stops them for long." Thelix shifted uncomfortably. His people had a saying, when the predator cannot be killed, the prey must evolve or hide. But there was nowhere left to hide, and evolution took millennia they didn't have. "There must be something," pleaded Representative Kilm, his species' last surviving member. "Some weapon we haven't tried, some ally we haven't called upon." "There are no more allies," Vexnor interrupted. "Every major military power in the galaxy is either fighting or fleeing. We stand alone against oblivion." The chamber fell silent. Then a junior technician burst through the entrance, violating every protocol of council proceedings. "Forgive the intrusion."
"High Chancellor, but..." The young Zephyrite was breathing hard.
Her bioluminescent skin flashing in distress patterns. "We've detected something, a signal. From the Sol system." The chamber erupted in confusion. Thelix felt his blood chill. "Sol system, Earth, the dead world, the forbidden zone." "Impossible," Vexnor said flatly. "Earth was sterilized 4,000 years ago during the Separation War. Nothing survives there. Our quarantine satellites confirmed it centuries ago." "I know, Chancellor. But the signal is real and it's strong. It's broadcasting on old human frequencies and..." The technician hesitated. "It's addressing the Galactic Council by name. It knows we're here. It knows about the Scourge." 3 weeks later, the expedition ship Horizon's Promise dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. Thelix stood on the observation deck alongside the mission's chief scientist, Dr. Yara Kesh, a brilliant xenoarchaeologist who had spent her career studying extinct species. "There it is," she whispered, pointing to the blue-green marble in the distance. "Earth, the forbidden world." The planet looked serene from this distance, but Thelix knew the history. 4,000 years ago, humanity had been one of the galaxy's rising powers, aggressive, innovative, and terrifyingly effective at warfare. When they discovered the Council had been secretly limiting their technological advancement, had been suppressing their expansion into key territories, humanity had done what humanity did best. They'd fought back. The Separation War had lasted only 3 years, but it had been the bloodiest conflict in galactic history. Humanity had been outnumbered 10,000 to 1. Yet they'd held their ground through sheer ferocity and tactical brilliance. In the end, the Council had been forced to use weapons that violated every ethical code they possessed. They'd irradiated Earth, deployed bioweapons, and shattered human colonies across a dozen worlds. The official record said humanity had been eliminated as a threat. The unofficial truth, the one that kept Thelix awake during sleep cycles, was that no one had actually confirmed all the humans were dead. The Council had simply declared victory, quarantined the Sol system, and tried to forget. "Sensors are reading something unusual," announced Captain Reth from the bridge. "Multiple orbital platforms around Earth. They're massive, each one the size of a small moon. They appear to be dormant. How did we never detect them before?" Vexnor demanded via hololink from the Council station. "They weren't there before," Dr. Yarakesh said, studying her screens. "Or more accurately, they were hidden. These platforms have stealth technology centuries beyond what humanity possessed 4,000 years ago." "They've been there all along, invisible, waiting." "Waiting for what?" Thelix asked, though part of him already knew the answer. The ship's communication system crackled to life. A voice speaking in perfect galactic standard filled the bridge. Unidentified vessel, you have entered protected space. State your purpose. Everyone froze. It was a human voice, clear, calm, and very much alive. Captain Reth recovered first. This is the Horizon's Promise, scientific vessel of the Galactic Council. We received a signal from this system and came to investigate. Who am I speaking with? A pause. Then, you are speaking with Custodian 7, artificial intelligence and caretaker of the Sol system. Your arrival was expected. You're here about the Scourge, aren't you? The bridge crew exchanged glances. Thelix stepped forward. Yes, we are facing an existential threat. Our civilizations are dying. The signal we received suggested that Earth might still have... He struggled for the words. Assets that could help us. Assets. The AI's voice carried what sounded like amusement. An interesting euphemism. You want to know if humanity is still alive? Ambassador Thelix of the Andraxian Collective. Yes, we know who you are. We've been watching the galaxy for 4,000 years. Watching? Vexnor's hologram flickered with agitation. You've been silent for millennia. While we thought you were extinct, you thought we were extinct because we wanted you to think that. Custodian 7 interrupted. Tell me, Chancellor, do you know why apex predators are most dangerous when they're silent? No one answered. Because they're hunting, the AI continued. But humanity wasn't hunting. We were learning, building, evolving, and most importantly, we were preparing. Preparing for what? Dr. Yarakesh asked. For the Scourge. We predicted their arrival 700 years ago. Our quantum probability engines calculated a 97% chance of a galaxy-ending threat emerging from the Perseus arm within this millennium. We ran the simulations 10 million times. In every scenario where humanity remained engaged with galactic politics, we failed to stop the threat. Too many competing interests, too many compromises, too much bureaucracy. Thelix felt his legs weaken. You're saying you've been preparing to fight the Scourge for 7 centuries? Not just preparing, Ambassador. We've been designing our entire civilization around defeating them. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier. All of it built and trained for a single purpose. You tried to exterminate us 4,000 years ago. You failed. We didn't die. We simply went underground and got to work. The main view screen suddenly switched to show Earth's surface. What had appeared to be a dead, irradiated wasteland from orbit was, upon closer inspection, something else entirely. Massive doors, each 1 kilometers wide, were opening across every continent. From these openings, lights began to emerge. Cities, impossibly vast cities stretching into the depths of the planet. We didn't leave Earth, Custodian 7 said. We just went deeper. And now, after 4,000 years of silence, after 4,000 years of the galaxy forgetting we exist, humanity is ready to wake up. Dr. Yarakesh pulled up energy readings, her face going pale. The power signatures coming from underground. They're enormous. These cities extend hundreds of kilometers into the crust. The population readings? By the founders, there must be trillions of humans down there. Trillions? Vexnor stammered. That's impossible. How could you sustain? We had 4,000 years and unlimited resources from the asteroid belt and outer planets, the AI replied. We rebuilt our population 10 times over. But more importantly, we rebuilt ourselves. The humans who are about to wake up are not the same species you tried to destroy. They've been enhanced genetically and cybernetically, optimized for warfare in ways the old humanity could never have imagined. On the screen, massive structures began rising from Earth's surface. Ships. But unlike any vessels in the galactic database, they were sleek, predatory things, bristling with weapons that radiated exotic energy signatures. The Terminus Fleet, Custodian 7 announced. 3,000 warships, each one crewed by soldiers who have trained their entire lives in simulation for this moment. They know everything about the Scourge. We've been monitoring every battle, analyzing every tactic, mapping every weakness. Thelix watched in awe as the ships continued to emerge, blotting out the stars. Why are you telling us this? Why reveal yourselves now? Because, Ambassador, the Scourge will reach the core worlds in 4 months, not 6. Your projections were optimistic. And because despite what you did to us, despite the betrayal and the attempted genocide, we're still human. We still remember what it means to protect those who cannot protect themselves. You're saying you'll help us? Vexnor asked, her voice barely a whisper. After everything we did to you? There was a long silence. Then, we're not doing this for the Council. We're not doing it for the governments that tried to eliminate us. We're doing it because there are billions of innocent beings in the path of the scourge. Children, families, entire civilizations that had nothing to do with the crimes of your ancestors. They deserve a chance to live. The AI's voice hardened. But understand this. Humanity is not returning to the galaxy as supplicants or victims. We're returning as we always were, as the species you feared. The species you tried to erase because you couldn't control us. The galaxy is about to remember why we were dangerous. Silence was never our defeat, Council. It was our warning. When will your people be ready? Captain Reth asked. The first wave is already awakening. Commander Elena Volkov and her command staff will be ready to meet with you in 72 hours. She'll want to discuss strategy, logistics, and most importantly, she'll want answers about what happened 4,000 years ago. Fair warning, humans have long memories and we've spent 4 millennia reviewing every detail of the separation war. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge crew in stunned silence. Thelix looked out at Earth, at the fleet assembling in orbit, at the lights of cities that had somehow flourished in secret beneath a dead world's surface. The galaxy had spent 4,000 years trying to forget humanity. Now, humanity was ensuring they would never be forgotten again. The Silent Guardian's Rise Commander Elena Volkov opened her eyes for the first time in 4,000 years. The cryopod's lid hissed open, releasing vapors that had kept her body suspended in perfect stasis since the day Earth went silent. Her lungs burned as they drew in air, her heart stuttering before settling into a steady rhythm that was stronger, faster than any human heart from the old world. The genetic modifications had worked. "Welcome back, Commander," said a calm synthetic voice.
Date, Galactic Standard Year 8024. Duration of sleep, 4,217 years.
All vital signs optimal. You are the first of your generation to wake. Elena sat up slowly, her muscles responding with a precision that felt surreal. She'd gone to sleep at 32 years old, a soldier exhausted from watching her world burn. Now technically she was over 4,000 years old, but her body felt 25, enhanced, optimized, ready. The mirror across the room showed her reflection. Same dark hair, same sharp features, but her eyes had changed. The genetic modifications had given them a subtle silver sheen, improved visual acuity that could see in near complete darkness. Her skin bore luminescent tattoos that pulsed faintly, biotech integration markers that connected her neural implants to her enhanced physiology. She was no longer entirely human. None of them were. They were something more, something designed to survive what killed civilizations. "Status report," Elena commanded, stepping out of the pod and into the waiting uniform, a sleek, adaptive combat suit that molded to her body like second skin. The scourge has entered the Outer Rim territories. Galactic casualties exceed 300 billion sentient beings. Current projection: complete galactic collapse within 4 months. The Council has made contact. They're requesting immediate assistance. Elena felt a cold fury settle in her chest. The Council, the same organization that had tried to exterminate her species because humanity had dared to question their authority, to push boundaries they wanted kept closed. "And they think we'll just forgive and forget," she muttered. "The custodian AI has already informed them of our conditional cooperation. We fight for the innocent, not for the Council's preservation." "Good." Elena strapped on her command gauntlet, the holographic interface springing to life. "Wake the first wave. All command staff, tactical officers, and the Vanguard Legion. I want them assembled in the Apex War Room in 6 hours. Acknowledged. Commander, the Council delegation is requesting a meeting. Ambassador Thelix and a scientific team." Elena paused. Thelix. She'd studied the personnel files during her pre-sleep briefing. The Andraxians had been neutral during the separation war, not complicit in the genocide, but not exactly helpful either. They'd stood by and watched. "Tell them they can meet me in 72 hours as scheduled, not a moment sooner. We have work to do." The Apex War Room was a cathedral of military might, carved deep beneath what had once been the Rocky Mountains. Holographic displays stretched across every surface, showing real-time data from surveillance drones scattered throughout the galaxy. Elena stood at the center, surrounded by her command staff, men and women who, like her, had volunteered for the long sleep. General Marcus Chen, her second in command, was the first to speak after his revival. 4,000 years, damn, did we win the bet?" Elena managed a slight smile. Before going under, they'd wagered on how long it would take before the galaxy needed them again. Marcus had guessed 3,000 years. She'd said 5,000. Split the difference, she replied. The scourge is real, and it's worse than our projections. The holographic display shifted, showing footage of scourge attacks captured by distant monitoring stations. The creatures, if they could be called that, were biomechanical horrors that consumed everything in their path, adapting to every weapon used against them. They spread like a virus, turning entire planets into breeding grounds for more of their kind. They're not just destroying civilizations, observed Dr. Sarah Kim, chief xenobiologist and one of the few scientists awakened in the first wave. They're harvesting them, converting biological and technological matter into more scourge units. It's exponential growth, which means every day we wait they get stronger, added Admiral James Okafor, commander of the Terminus Fleet. Our simulations predicted this exact scenario. We trained for it. Now we execute. Elena pulled up tactical data. The scourge has 3 primary hive clusters, designated Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. They're operating in a coordinated pattern, suggesting a central intelligence. Our quantum analysis indicates the main consciousness is located here. She highlighted a region in the Perseus arm, in what they're calling the Nexus. If we can strike there, we might disrupt their entire network. That's deep in scourge territory, Marcus observed. Thousands of light years behind enemy lines, which is exactly why no one else has tried it. They're fighting defensively, trying to hold territory. That's a losing strategy against an adaptive enemy. Elena's eyes gleamed. But we don't fight like the Council. We don't hold lines. We strike hard, fast, and we don't stop until the threat is eliminated. Admiral Okafor brought up fleet readiness reports. The Terminus fleet is at 93% operational capacity. 3,000 warships, all equipped with adaptive AI, quantum displacement drives, and weaponry specifically designed to counter scourge biology. We also have the Omega Protocol weapons. A heavy silence fell over the room. The Omega Protocol, weapons so devastating that they'd been considered too dangerous to use even during the Separation War. Weapons designed to crack planets, collapse stars, or tear holes in space-time itself. Those are last resort only, Elena said firmly. We're not becoming the monsters we're fighting. Agreed, Marcus said. But it's good to know we have them. Dr. Kim pulled up biological analysis. I've been reviewing the scourge samples our long-range drones collected. They adapt through rapid genetic mutation, but there's a pattern to it. They're not truly infinitely adaptive, they're following algorithmic optimization, which means they can be predicted, and prediction means vulnerability. Elaborate, Elena commanded. We've spent 4,000 years developing counter-adaptation technology. Weapons that evolve faster than their targets can respond. Viruses that target specific protein structures. Nanite swarms that can rewrite enemy biology at the molecular level. The Scourge has never faced an opponent who adapts faster than they do. Elena felt the pieces falling into place. So we don't just match their adaptation, we out-evolve them. Exactly, but we need live samples. Close-range combat data. Which means first contact is going to be bloody, Marcus finished. Our people are ready for that. Elena looked around the room at her command staff. These weren't the humans the galaxy remembered. They'd spent lifetimes in simulation, training for every possible scenario. They'd been genetically enhanced for strength, speed, and resilience. Their neural implants allowed instantaneous communication and tactical coordination. They were living weapons forged over 4 millennia of preparation. The Council wants a meeting in 3 days, Elena announced. They'll want to understand our capabilities, our plans, our intentions. Our intentions? General Chen raised an eyebrow. You mean they're afraid we're here for revenge? Can you blame them? Elena's voice was cold. They tried to exterminate us. Billions of humans died in the Separation War. Entire colonies were glassed from orbit. Children? Families? She stopped herself, taking a breath. We have every right to demand justice. But we won't, Dr. Kim said quietly. Because that's not who we are. Elena nodded slowly. No. We fight for those who can't fight for themselves. That's what makes us human. But the Council needs to understand something. We're not returning as subordinates. We're not asking for permission. We're here to save the galaxy, but we're doing it our way. Admiral Okafor grinned. I look forward to seeing their faces when they realize humanity is no longer the weak species they tried to eliminate. Begin fleet deployment, Elena ordered. I want advance forces moving toward the outer rim within 24 hours. We'll engage the scourge at the Kelthera system. The Council's projections show it'll fall within the week. We're going to make sure it doesn't. 72 hours later, Ambassador. Thelix and the Council delegation arrived at humanity's primary command station, a massive orbital complex above Earth that dwarfed anything in the known galaxy. Elena met them in the diplomatic chamber, a stark room designed to intimidate. She stood alone, dressed in her command uniform, the silver sheen of her enhanced eyes reflecting the ambient light. Thelix entered first, followed by High Chancellor Vexnor's hologram and several other council representatives. She could see the fear in their eyes, the way they instinctively kept distance from her. Commander Volkov, Thelix began, his translator rendering his speech into English. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I want to thank you for— Stop, Elena interrupted. Let's not pretend this is a friendly reunion. You're here because you're desperate, not because you suddenly care about humanity. So let's skip the pleasantries and discuss terms. Vexnor's hologram flickered. Terms, Commander, we're facing extinction. Surely nothing, Elena said coldly. 4,000 years ago, your predecessors tried to wipe us out. They failed. We survived, we grew stronger, and now you need our help. So yes, there will be terms. What do you want? Thelix asked carefully. Territory? Resources? Political power? Elena laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. You still don't understand. We don't want your territory. We don't want your resources. We don't want anything you can give us because we've spent 4,000 years building everything we need. She pulled up holographic records, footage from the Separation War, burning human colonies, children fleeing from orbital bombardments, the bioweapon release that had killed billions. This, Elena said, pointing at the images, is what you did to us. This is what we remember. Every single human who woke up today carries these memories. We uploaded them before the long sleep, ensured they could never be forgotten. The council representatives looked away, unable to meet her gaze. So here are my terms, Elena continued. We will fight the scourge. We will save your civilizations. But when this is over, humanity is claiming full sovereignty. We answer to no council, no galactic authority, no external government. Earth and the Sol system become forbidden territory to everyone except by explicit invitation. That's acceptable, Vexnor said carefully. I'm not finished. Second, the Separation War is officially recognized as attempted genocide. Full reparations will be paid. Not to us, but to charitable organizations we'll establish to help rebuild worlds the scourge has damaged. Third, every species in the galaxy will learn the truth about what happened 4,000 years ago. No more lies, no more cover-ups. You're asking us to admit to war crimes, Thelix said. I'm demanding you face the truth. Your ancestors were wrong. They feared humanity because we wouldn't submit to their control, so they tried to eliminate us. That ends now. The chamber fell silent. Finally, Vexnor spoke. We accept your terms, Commander. The galaxy needs you. Elena studied them for a long moment. The galaxy needs us because you failed. Remember that. Now let's discuss how we're going to win this war. She activated the tactical display showing the Terminus fleet's deployment. Our forces are already engaging the scourge at Kelthara. Initial reports show we're devastating their formations. They've never faced an enemy like us, one that adapts faster than they do. Admiral Okafor's voice came through the comm. Commander, Kelthara engagement complete. Enemy forces eliminated with 0 human casualties. The planet is secure. Thelix's eyes widened. 0 casualties? Against the scourge? That's impossible. Nothing is impossible for humanity, Elena said quietly. You spent 4,000 years thinking we were dead. You were wrong. You spent centuries believing the scourge was unstoppable. You're wrong about that too. She looked directly at the council representatives, her enhanced eyes gleaming with determination. The galaxy forgot what made humanity dangerous. They forgot that we don't surrender, we don't submit, and we sure as hell don't give up. 4,000 years of silence wasn't defeat. It was preparation. Now watch what happens when the Predator stops hiding. The holographic display showed the Terminus fleet moving deeper into Scourge territory, each ship a blazing star of human vengeance and hope. We didn't return as saviors, Elena said softly. We returned as a reminder. Humanity is back, and we're taking our galaxy back with us. The end.